What are you talking about? What are we even talking about, man?
Juwan next to Don.
Something my STEEZ. You know what's going on. Yes,
Yeah.
Lord.
Hey, yeah, bring you guys down round 22 of AFL.
Second to last week of the year, man. It's getting down to the nitty gritty.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Any takeaways?
Yeah, I feel like I had two, but I think I'm just going with one. Something that I kind of been watching over the course of the season, particularly the last couple weeks, but was more evident this week. I feel like teams are starting to gas out way earlier than they were earlier in the season. Teams are going through spells without goals, like early in the second quarter, late in the second quarter, like early in the third quarter, right after halftime, when you have a break and you're still not being able to get your offense going or whatever the case may be. And it seems like it's happening with good teams and bad teams and really in the middle of the pack teams. So that's something that I've been noticing, and I'm wondering, is it the effects of the season? Also, this is the season right after a COVID-affected season where it's 23 games. So 6 extra games than last year. So that's what I'm thinking it might be this season.
So my main takeaway this round was an interesting round just because the top 9 teams played the bottom 9 teams. So a lot of these games really didn't make too much of a difference on the ladder standings. I think the only ones that really matter were GWS and Richmond and West Coast and Fremantle. But so saying that, a lot of these games were, I don't want to say practice games for the teams in the 8, but definitely games where they could test something out and really not have too much consequence for it. So I definitely judge the top teams a little heavier this round than the teams that had nothing to lose. But yeah, that's a good one right there. Getting into these games though, first game of the round we had GWS versus Richmond, and I don't know if people were surprised about this, but I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I knew GWS was a better team, but I wasn't expecting the degree of ass whoop that they gave to Richmond. Like, GWS really came in the game hot, kept it hot, and Richmond really didn't have any answers for them. Like, Richmond might be out of here. I mean, well, Richmond is definitely out of the 8 now. No chance at all. This was a game to make the 8. And I'm kind of glad GWS took Richmond out.
GWS just keeps doing it every week. Richmond began as a question mark, and now they're just kind of being treated as a team that's below that. That's not an 18 because they're not, but really a team that's lower than that, in my opinion. And they're kind of playing like it. Like GWS started the game with this. I think first quarter they had like 7 goals, so they were just really moving the ball however they wanted to. The game really was over in the first quarter, to be honest. Richmond, it was just disappointing to see because it's not. It really wasn't disappointing. It's just they ass. So you just every week you're just calling them ass. You're like, bro.
They just won 2 in a row and everything. Now they just ass. But shit is disappointing. No cut.
Speaking of them being ass, bro, I think Toronto had 4 goals at halftime, and so did Richmond. So you're getting matched by a player, bro, as far as the goals being put on the scoreboard, bro. So nah, it's just time for y'all to really. I think they mentally checked out. It's just crazy. It's really the teams. It was the teams in the 7, 8 spot for real. Really just. It's just the level of comfort that's crazy, bro. And the teams that were right below that, now they're taking it and being hungry with it. And GWS is looking like something going into the finals.
For sure, definitely. Next game we got Hawthorn versus the Bulldogs. Yeah. This is probably the upset of the week, in my opinion at least. I wasn't expecting Hawthorn to come out with this win. Even watching the game, I was sitting back, I was like, all right, the Dogs are going to make their comeback any second now. And the Hawks really just held on tight to the lead they had, and shit, they really finished strong. They're finishing this whole season strong, really. Ever since Clarko, we found out Clarko's not going to be there, they really been a great team. Like, the last 3 games, if they finished it out on the win the last round, they really had one of the best ends to the season.
Yeah, I agree. This was Clarko's last game, and Tazzy as coach of Hawthorn, and he won this game, beat a good, respectable team in the Bulldogs. Bulldogs haven't been looking the same, bro. They've been struggling in recent weeks. They look like a shell of themselves as far as top form that when we seen them get the legs going. For instance, like the one situation where Bailey Smith, like I was acting like he didn't even know the rules to the AFL, bro. When they had a lot of pressure on him, the Hawks were putting pressure on him in their own D50, and he didn't rush it behind. He just kind of was like fumbling the ball, not really knowing what's going on. So I know he's a younger player, but still though, bro, when you're a professional at the AFL level, you would think you would know the situation that you're supposed to do, especially when you're a top team and you know that you're going into finals and it's time to tighten up. So Hawks were on them pretty early. Dogs did flip a switch early in the second quarter when it just kept getting repeat inside 50s and they took the lead. I think what was it at the third quarter, 13-minute mark, but that was the last goal they had, honestly. And the Hawks really just took the game a little bit after that, and they ran off with the game for the most part. Kaczynski had nice moments. Waitman was the only one that was really getting them going early on as far as the Dogs go. And Waitman kind of reminds me of Marcus Smart, bro. The way he be generating flops and shit. Like he's like a little pesty player, bro, and he gets in people's head, and then they'll like retaliate or do something, sling him around, or
I can see that, bro.
Do something. It's like I wanted to say Chris Paul, bro, but
I wonder if he be talking shit.
Probably he's younger. I feel like if he's like young American, if young Australians are like young Americans, talk shit, bro.
That shit probably funny.
Yeah.
But other than that, I do want to say that I had the Dogs winning the premiership in an earlier prediction, but after this performance, like, I don't care what you're doing. There's no reason to be only having 5 goals this close to the end of the season. I know your spot's secured. Well, you're secure in the top 4, but you need to give the Dogs fans something more to hope for. Like, this just looks bad going into the finals.
Yep. Yeah. We have midfield to really be covering a bunch. You got Port this week coming up, so it's gonna be tough for them boys. They're gonna have to bounce back.
Shit, next game we got Geelong versus the Saints. And this game, so the Saints had the lead early, and they were really looking good. They were looking decent early. Max King came out this game strong. He's really been looking better and better every round. I think he's really coming into form, becoming the player that he's really meant to be. I guess. I mean, he's really putting his body to work. He's just been a great mark target for them the past few games, is what I'm trying to say. And Geelong, they really just clawed their way back into it. It just patience, making the right plays over time. Saints just ran out of gas, and Geelong, they showed that. So the thing with Geelong, if you can't take them out of their pace, then they're gonna win. And the Saints really couldn't disrupt Geelong's pace like that. Once they got it going, Geelong really had it for the rest of the way.
Yeah, I mean, you said that the Saints were on them early. They had the first 5 goals before Geelong was really scoring, bro. And I remember you seen before we even really got to watch the game, we were watching another game live and seeing the score ticker. We were just like, Saints going up, Saints going up. It was crazy to see the Cats go down that early because usually Cats they don't really let the other team get the ball as much to really get down by 5 goals, especially the first 5 goals, bro. But they like you said, they did straighten up. They got better It's in the first quarter. I think they got the next 4. So they had their run. They tightened up on defense as well. Saints, I think they had like 2 more, bro, but really going into halftime, the Cats really kept going strong. They had 9 of the last 12. A little bit over halfway through the third quarter. And really what it came down to it, bro, it was really a tight contest, but at the end of the day, and during crunch time, it just seemed like Geelong's key players really they showed up. Like Tom Hawkins really showed up later on. Dangerfield had like a clutch mark, really in a contest in the 450, nice contested mark. Jeremy Cameron, he had a really great game, bro. And yeah, it was game time, bro, and the senior players showed up from Geelong's side rather than the Saints. So looking like they have something to play for.
Yeah. And to add on with this game, just like with the Dogs, I also had the Cats going to the premierships to play the Dogs, and this wasn't the finals performance either. Even though they got the win and the Dogs didn't, this wasn't a finals contender team that that I would hope to see. Compared to some other teams this round that really showed that they wanted it and showed what they're about to bring, Geelong didn't do that. Yeah. Next game we got Port versus Carlton.
Haha.
All right, so I'll make mine quick. So Carlton tried, bro. Carlton came out. Carlton came out at the beginning of the game, and they looked inspired for the first quarter. And the Port just, it was like, all right, y'all have y'all little fun this first quarter. We're gonna show y'all what we talking about second quarter. Third quarter, we just gonna keep on beating, whooping the ass, boy. And then the fourth quarter, you gonna give up hope, and we just gonna have fun. And that's pretty much how the game went, bro. That's how the game went.
All right, so this was Mark Murphy's 300th game with Carlton, bro. One club player. So, damn, I meant to write down everybody who got hurt, bro. But, so yeah, we were without like everybody, bro. Cripps was out. Jack Martin was out. Zach Williams was out, bro. Everybody was out, bro. Everybody knows who was out. But like you said, bro, we did come to play about a quarter and a half, bro. For real, bro. Had nice pressure. Really had elite pressure going on. We really had Port looking like we were on the same level as them at some point, bro. We had nice ball movement. And really, we just fell away, bro. At one point, what was it? I got the mark. At 12:36 in the second quarter, we had 5 goals, 8 behinds, and that was the last goal we had through the whole game, bro. And Port scored 19 straight goals, and really just had us looking foolish, bro. Beat us by 95 points, and we had 5 goals and 15 behinds, bro. That's like even worse than a Frio game, bro. That's just setting shit to a new level when you have 3 times as many behinds as you do goals. It's just ridiculous, bro. But they took the lead, like I said, like 6 minutes through the second quarter, bro, and it was really a wrap from there. Everything looked easy, like you said. Aliir, there was nothing we could do to get around him, bro. That guy was just, he's looking like the best key defender right now in the league, in the competition. He just covers so much ground, bro. It's really hard to get around him. He's going to intercept it. He's going to spoil it. Whatever it is, it's going to be hard for you to get a mark with him being in the way. A couple highlights, I guess I could say. Levi Casbolt, he gave a lot of good effort. He's going to his few games. I think he's going to retire next game, if I'm not mistaken. But I usually have a problem with him, but he actually gave more effort than a lot of the team, so I was proud of that. McGovern as well in that same bracket. I want to highlight the 3 youngins, Josh Honey, Corey Durden, and Brody Kemp. Not Kemp, but Matt Kennedy. They came with supreme effort. Specifically, shout out to Corey Durden, because this was his first game, a blue debut, if you don't mind. Brody Kemp, another blue debut. Shout out to y'all boys. Butters, fuck Zach Butters from now on, bro. He punched my nigga side, bro. So I had to mush that boy, push him to the floor, show him he a hoe. Butters got the good win, but don't fuck with side, bro. You know you get your ass whooping really in the streets, bro. And finally, bro, the Jacob Wiedering spoil. The fucking 50-meter spoil, bro. That shit was wild, bro.
One thing I just want to add, bro. Port, I never seen you act like this, bro. I'm actually surprised Port came out and got such a dominant win. Most of the time they barely creep by, but they're really showing what they want to bring to the final. So Port can keep this up. They might be something to look at in the finals. And I never thought I would say that, but from this game, it's possible.
Yeah, Port, I'm proud of you for beating the VFL side.
All right. Next game, we got Brisbane versus Collingwood. And this game was pretty similar to Port versus Carlton. Collingwood, they had their signature hot start, scoring within the first minute, usually off the center bounce.
Shit, like for 20 seconds, this shit was crazy.
Yeah, they did that. They actually had a nice little first quarter. And they also had a fall off, but their fall off was a lot sooner. And Brisbane just took off, bro. Brisbane really was doing what they wanted the whole game. Brisbane been looking good these past few weeks too, man.
I've been hearing the critics.
Yeah. I don't know. They just been looking great as a team. As a complete team, bro, I think Brisbane is looking like that. Just the way they share the ball and all that.
Yeah, Collingwood had that first goal, first 20 seconds or whatever. Brisbane came with 3 more straight. I think like 2 minutes, bro, so Collingwood defense fell off. Grundy obviously wasn't doing what he needed to do in the ruck contest as far as, you know what I'm saying, bro? If you're Grundy, you're really supposed to not be having your team go through all these spells, bro. You got to be more influential, especially when there's not so many rucks that are that. You know what I'm saying? Brisbane, like we've been preaching, bro. Brisbane has beautiful ball movement when they're clicking, bro. Danaher really was involved with every score involvement that they had early in the game. And I think, what is it? It's still the stat. If he scores this next week, he'll be the first player to score a goal in every player.
The only player since 2017.
Yeah. To score a goal in each round?
Yeah, goal every round.
Yep.
And a player in 2017 to do it was Joe Danaher.
Facts. It damn sure was. So, yeah, Brisbane was doing good, bro. The goalie had a goal, but I think the last goal for about a whole quarter, like a little bit halfway through the second quarter. And Brisbane really just finished strong, bro, going back to back to back, just repeat inside 50s, repeat opportunities, and just smooth ball movement, bro. Charlie Cameron going crazy, bro. McStay had nice appearances here and there. And they just look nice, bro. They click. They seem like a team that's been playing together for years. And, you know, they've been playing decent the last couple of years, as my research tells me, bro. So it's showing.
Facts.
Charlie Cameron 6 goals.
Alright. Next game, we got North versus Sydney. And this game was surprisingly entertaining. North has definitely been on the come up, but I expected more from Sydney, to be honest. They came out early, got a nice big early lead, but then they just let up the gas, and that's something I'm worried about with them come finals time. With them all being young, I feel like once they have a big lead, they kind of slow down a little bit, and that's gonna fuck them up in the finals, bro. And they did that with North this game. Look, North came back within 1 point too. Let me add that. But Sydney did what they had to do to pull out this win. But they did all right. But it really looks like they need Buddy on the field to really like control the flow of the game.
Yeah. Sydney locked North up. Like early in the game, North really didn't know how to respond, bro. Just as far as inside 50s go, North really wasn't competing with Sydney, bro. They just kept repeating and going. And they were playing well, but Sydney really stopped being efficient, bro, and they really gave North a chance, like in the third quarter. And like you said, North really closed the gap. They were playing well. They played consistent. Zerhar was one of the most entertaining players. He really had himself a hell of a game. And it wasn't like Papley's best game. Like, what Sydney Stars weren't playing the best, and they really had to rely on Golden and some of the other players who really aren't some of the more consistent. So I feel like that's an opportunity really for you to try and catch Sydney lacking. And you got to have to want it with them. And North as a whole team didn't really fill that profile. But North, they did make most of their opportunities offensively, but they really were giving up goals as well. So they really needed to tighten it up on defense. Because Sydney was still going, whether they were really scoring the goals off it or not, they were still getting points, scoring opportunities onto the board. And halfway through the fourth quarter, Sydney really just took off, bro. It was, like you said, North gassed out. They really just didn't know how to finish the game out strong. But if they had, it would have been a really entertaining finish because, like you said, it was a great game, bro.
Sure.
What do you mean?
All right, I ain't gonna lie, bro. We did just do this last part already, but we lost the footage. Well, the footage just didn't fucking save to the camera, so here we are again. We're being enthusiastic. It's because we already said this shit. The next game, we got Melbourne versus Adelaide. And, all right, so I'm going to say this. Adelaide is a very entertaining team to watch. They're definitely a highlight team, but a lot of that shit usually doesn't go nowhere. Melbourne, they say, all right, so Melbourne, they're looking like a good team. Pachaka definitely showed out this game a few times. He comes out when he needs to. There's a lot of potential that I'm not seeing from them. They definitely do enough to win games. And I can't say they do much more than that, but I definitely think that they can, bro. I see it in them. I just want to see it come out. Hopefully, it's finals that I see that.
Adelaide, I do agree that when they're looking good, they're looking good. They are a highlight team. They started out the nicest game. They just couldn't be efficient. They really couldn't get any efficiency going inside the 50. They were at one point 1 goal, 6 behind. So they had a problem with missing goals during this process. Ben Brown turning up a little bit, continuing how he was the last couple of weeks as far as some hot starts. Melbourne broke out in the second quarter, and this wasn't a good time for Adelaide because they were stuck at 1 goal, 6 behind, like I said, and they were stuck at that particular mark, about an hour. I mean, not an hour, but a whole quarter going into the third. But they did get on the run where they scored 5 of 6 in a row. 5 of the last 6 to cut into the lead. I think they were down by 3 at some point in the third quarter. But really late in the third quarter, Melbourne really buckled down and stomped all that out and put Adelaide through one of those dry spells that they're prone to having. When they're hot, they're hot. When they're not, they're not. So that's pretty much the theme with them. Bailey Fritsch ended up having 7 goals by the end of the night in the name of racism. So shout out to Bailey Fritsch. He fought with the niggas, man. You know what I'm saying? With that fade that he be having and the haircut that he got, he fought with the niggas, man. So shout out to Bailey Fritsch.
For sure. Next game, we got Gold Coast versus Essendon. And this was an important game for Essendon. They needed this game to have any chances of making the 8. They definitely looking like good contenders to do that. Gold Coast, bro, they checked out. They already accepted that they ass, and they really didn't show up this game at all. Nobody wanted it on Gold Coast. And Essendon, they're trying to do something. If they make the 8, I don't really think they're going to make any noise at all. I really don't think any team competing for the 8 spot right now is going to make a big difference in the finals. That being Essendon, West Coast, and Freo. But, yeah.
As far as this game goes, Gold Coast was competitive really just the first quarter. That's about all they really had. And it was disappointing to see them really get smashed like this, considering they whooped our ass so easily, so handily, which is pretty shit on our end. But Jake Stringer just looked like he's hungry for finals. He wants to play. He wants another premiership, it looks like. And he really took over as far as whether he's needed in the center bounce, as far as in the midfield. Kicking goals when it's needed, he really turns up. He had 5 this game, and there's no doubt he's one of the best players in the competition when he's playing at his peak. I haven't really seen him play this good. I think what he's playing right now is the best he's been playing. Essendon really just turned up, bro. They owned the second quarter, scored 5 goals straight. Gold Coast had 1 goal, and the Essendon scored 7 more goals straight, and really just chilled the last half of the fourth quarter. So it was really just an ass whoop, and I think it was a nice symbol of unselfishness when Jake Stringer had an open goal, set shot right in front of him, really squared away and kicked it to Alex Waterman instead of giving himself a goal. So shout out to that. I think they can go somewhere as far as team morale, and really if they look out for each other and if that spreads, I think they actually could be a little dangerous in the finals. It would be hard for them to match up against Brisbane at this moment, so I think the best bet would be Sydney. But Stringer would have to play high, and I think he could overwhelm them in the midfield. So I'm actually looking forward to that matchup if it would happen.
All right. Last game of the round, we got Freo versus West Coast, and I got to talk about this bullshit again.
Yeah, I'll go first, man. So West Coast really looked good in the first quarter, right in the beginning when Kennedy had the first goal, real quick goal walk through Freo's defense, but Freo really just ate the rest of the first quarter, man. They had 8 goals, including 5 straight, where Shuey broke the streak. But it was just a tight contest, rough contest. It was an entertaining game. West Coast made a run in the third quarter. Freo at one point got stuck at 10 goals, 2 behinds, all the way to the end of the fourth quarter. To the end of the third quarter, my bad. West Coast made another run into the lead until some bullshit really happened, bruh.
Out of bounds shit.
Yeah, out of bounds. Adam Chera really was way out of bounds. I don't know how the umpire really even missed that, to be honest.
No, their shit shifted the whole momentum, you know.
And Caleb Strong got a goal out of that after fouling or whatever, and West Coast didn't really have a goal after that. It was just some bullshit, bro. But it was a very entertaining game, though. I will give it that. One of the best games of the year.
So West Coast Eagles all day every day, but this game was so bad, bro. Like, just the importance of this game, it being probably the most important game of the year for both sides in this. Both was finals on the line. Definitely needed this win. If we got this, then we probably would have secured our spot. Freo got it. They still have a chance. They just got to win another game.
And press potential.
Yeah. Right. Finals is going to be played in Perth. We need that home court advantage. Like I said, this game, Derby 53, we had perfect conditions. Like, there was really no excuse to get beat how we did. The way Freo came out, it just looked like we didn't fucking want to win. We didn't want the game. Despite how important it was, it took us till really the third quarter to see that we needed this game. And we did kind of lock Freo down, but they broke out of it with the bullshit, really. But this shit is just disappointing, bro. Sorry y'all ain't get the first fucking take, bro. But I can't even talk about this bullshit right now.
Okay, I think some notable things about that was Dom Sheed punched Bailey Banfield. Fiery game, like we said. Really was kind of out of nowhere, but it shit was pretty fucking hilarious to see a Freo player get punched.
Yeah, shit. The whole game was fire. A lot of just action. It was entertaining off the fights too, not just the game itself.
Even if you weren't a West Coast or a Freo fan, especially if the crowd's getting into it, it definitely amps up the environment. But another thing that didn't get amped up was Tim Kelly's knee was fucked up. Somebody fell into him. It's never good to see anybody get hurt off a knee injury, particularly because it takes so long to come back. So they haven't got the news on that. I don't know if you did. Hopefully it's not serious or anything that will affect them going into next season because West Coast needs them. Needs him after they gave up some pieces for Tim Kelly, who's a young player who's still trying to live up to that contract or live up to reputation of what he got traded for. And yeah, David Mundy wins again. That nigga ran to the moon, bro.
But shit, that's all the games. But let me tell you another way West Coast has disappointed me, bro. Fucking Willie Rioli, bro. I waited all year for him to play, thinking that he was gonna come back and be, at least do something, at least be some type of matchup with Liam Ryan and have them on both sides. I just thought that would have been dope to actually see, but no, don't get that shit this year. Hamstring injury out of nowhere, bro. It's like, I know you just probably don't want to play, but we needed something, bro. You could have tried, dog. I don't know I'm just disappointed in West Coast to the maximum degree right now.